Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So we're going to be checking out the champion roadmap today for Season 8. So they talk about in this post a bunch of different things. New AD carry, which is coming for the new champion. That will be the next new champion will be an AD carry, which is pretty cool, and a lot like VAYNE as well, apparently, which is even better. But they also talk about 4 other reworks in this post, and then I found 16 other reworks that they want to look at eventually. Not saying they're working on them right now, but they are on the table, and when they discuss which one to do next, it'll be one out of those 16 picks, which we'll go into in a second. But first of all, let's talk about the new AD carry. So something that's been missing for the AD carry roster for a while, apparently, is a super high risk, high reward marksman in the vein of VAYNE. So this is going to be basically another VAYNE. We're looking at a marksman now that rewards players who aren't afraid to hunt for the perfect opportunity no matter where it takes them. So basically you're diving into a fight, going into the back line, trying to be a half assassin, half AD carry. Best players will go deep into enemy territory and thrive, while the weak players will perish, never to be heard from again. So basically, VAYNE spotting for the bad ones, and the good ones will be an assassin. So the best way to get an idea of what the new champion is going to look like will be to look at VAYNE, right? If they modeled the new champion's kit around VAYNE, first of all, range 550. That's actually quite low for an AD carry. Caitlyn has 650, for example, and a bunch of ways to stay safe for the back. VAYNE has no direct dashes or anything like that, so it would be kind of weird for this new champion to have one as well. She does have a tumble, which is some kind of mobility, and a lot of mobility throughout her kit. So move speed from this, from her passive, she has mobility with her Q. Only 1 damage source, silver bolts from her W. So throughout the entire kit, there's only really one thing that you're relying mainly on your damage for. There are no abilities throughout VAYNE's entire kit. There's no like explosive charge like a Tristana. There's no Caitlyn's Q, for example. Nothing like that from range, really. You have to auto attack if you want to do damage, right? That's probably going to be how this new champion is at the same time. You have your condemn, which is your stun, so your dueling power, and then your ultimate, you have your stealth, which is the main thing, obviously, to stay safe, and you also have a bit more AD. But everything really relies around your auto attacks and diving into a fight, right? That is probably the closest we can get right now as to what the champion is going to look like. So highly mobile for one, no real ability damage, but you'll probably have some kind of scaling damage throughout the game. Something that lets you dive into fights and able to actually assassinate the backline, which is something they talked about in the past post as well. So you're going to be diving into fights, short range. You're going to be right next to everybody, but you're still going to be able to kill people, apparently, as an AD carry. So let's go back into the reworks now. The first rework after Swain, which we're going to get in the next patch, by the way, video coming soon on that. We're going to be looking at Irelia. She's going to be keeping a lot of her current kit right now. We're keeping her Q exactly as we are. But if you read this bit, surging into the thick of battle, pierce the shields of her enemies before cutting them down in a flurry of dancing blades. Now, something that Riot, I don't know if this is actually going to be how it is, but something that Riot's really wanted to do recently is add some kind of shield killing mechanic into the game. So you know how Cassiopeia, when she got changed, Singe, for example, they got this new grounding mechanic where you just like throw that thing on the floor, they can't flash away and stuff. Zoe has a new sleep. Maybe Irelia is going to get this new mechanic where she can actually get through shields now, like a locket and stuff. They've wanted to add that for a while, but we'll have to see. That's actually how she's going to do it. Apart from having her Q, though, the kit is going to really change. Apart from that, obviously the flurry of dancing blades, that's basically what her ultimate is right now, like the blades shooting out. So they're going to change that, change her ultimate, but it might kind of keep the same theme, if that makes sense. Well, a couple of cool things, though, that we can kind of see is that she's able to fight at a relatively long range for a fighter, which is a bit weird because if you're a melee champion, a fighter, how do you fight from long range? Unless you're dancing back in and out, obviously, with your Q all the time, and that's what they mean instead. That is kind of a bit weird, but poking at her enemies with 1,000 tiny cuts before surging in for the kill. So it seems like what she's going to do is poke you at a range as a fighter, as a bruiser, poke you down first, and then surge in after and actually kill you, which seems a bit weird as a fighter to have like a range skill that's going to end up poking you. Okay, we'll see. The last little thing they talk about, though, is that they want to give her a thing to engage a fight and signal to her teammates, negotiation and farewell, that's a lot of stuff, and it's time to fight back and then surge into battles. So everything that is like engaged tool in the game is basically crowd control, because that's how it has to work. You dive in, you crowd control somebody, and then you wait for your team to follow up afterwards, right? Malphite, Sejuani, whatever, everything like that. So she's going to have some kind of like crowd control. I don't know if it'll be the same as her stun right now, because that's pretty ridiculous, but she'll have some way of engaging a fight for her team. She won't be like this kind of bruiser that has to wait for everybody else to do it. it, she can actually dive in and pick a fight for her team. Next up is going to be Aatrox, and they are doing a complete rework on this guy. This is the biggest one they've ever done. It's not like the mini rework he's already had. They're basically building him from the ground up again because they're like, yeah, we didn't do a very good job of him the first time around. A couple of things we can take from this though. So first of all, bloodthirsty, greatsword wielding warlord. So bloodthirsty to me, with how Riot is and stuff, that would mean lifesteal. So he's going to be healing himself quite heavily, which fits with how he is right now. And also, he's a typical Darkin stuff, right? So the main example of the Darkin what we have right now would be Kayn. When you turn into Rust, he's literally called the Darkin Scythe, right? So if we're following the same kind of pattern right now, Aatrox should be kind of similar in a way to how Rust is, to how Kayn, Red Kayn is when you transform into that. But he's going to definitely have a giant Darkin sword, which is obviously great. His Aatrox, so his attacks and abilities are going to feel quite powerful and heavy. So the closest thing to that I think we have at the moment would be like Trinivir, for example. When he whacks someone, it looks like he's really swinging his sword into them. He does big crits after that as well. So that kind of has the heavy and powerful theme that we're probably going to have similar to Aatrox at least, but with more life steal, massive ass sword, and apparently he's going to be a warlord at the same time. The last one that we're going to be talking about that they've given us some hints for is Akali. So she is getting a complete visual update as well as a gameplay update at the same time. So she will look different, her models will be different, skins will be different, as well as actual gameplay different as well. So one of the problems she has right now is she's all or nothing. You have to kind of get ahead and snowball, otherwise she's not going to be very good. So they want to give her more options for success by playing up her ability to hide in plain sight. So the kind of shroud mechanic we have right now, the stealth and stuff, that's going to be basically how her kit revolves around with the new update, which I'm not exactly too much of a fan of, but then, you know, I'm the one getting targeted by Akali as an AD, so we'll see. She has a lot of trouble laning against people, so they want to improve her laning, make it less reliant on the snowballs so you can actually fight people and you're not all or nothing anyway in a solo lane, which is pretty good actually. She won't have to be as dependent on early kills to succeed, which means she's not going to be a pure assassin anymore, because for example, like pretty much every assassin in the game, you need to be ahead of the curve, so you need to have more kills and more items, otherwise you can't really kill people and do your job properly. Apparently Akali is going to be more about, well, it seems like she's going to be more about stealth and trickery and stuff rather than just full out killing and bursting people, which would mean she's kind of like, that's basically what they did with the LeBlanc rework, which they're going to rework again eventually probably, but that's basically that kind of idea moved into Akali at the same time. Lore wise, they're going to be following the Gangplank line where they have the original lore, then upgrade it a bit more, but I don't think many people honestly have that. But basically, instead of reworking Akali completely, they're trying to take Akali concept and just grow it and change it a little bit and kind of upgrade it to the current level of champions that we have. Last thing is they do hint at the next visual gameplay update with a bit chilly for champions lately. This looks to me like a Nunu snowball, and if we have a look at this, which we also can see, the other champions, Reeve is one of the champion designers, especially for the reworks and the gameplay updates and stuff. He said all these champions are eventually going to be getting a gameplay update, a visual and a gameplay update at the same time, and lo and behold, Nunu is right there in the middle. So he is the only one. If we look down here, there is no other chilly champion down here. Maybe Volibear, but this thing looks nothing like Volibear, right? That is basically a snowball. So pretty sure Nunu is going to be the one after that. They're going to be updating him completely, which is a bit weird because they literally just buffed his W to an insane level. So why would you overbuff a champion when you're thinking about reworking him at the same time? Anyway, so these champions, Mundo, Corki, Cho'Gath even though he got a mini rework recently with his ultimate and stuff, well, a few months ago, I guess. But I'm guessing he won't be very, like, soon on this list. Fiddlesticks, Kayle, they do say down here, Kayle will be paired with Morgana. Kennen, Kog'Maw again. Kog'Maw got reworked, then reverted back to normal state, and they want to apparently rework him again. Nocturne, Mordekaiser already had a rework, but, you know, they're going to give him another one. Nunu, Pantheon, Ramescarna, Shaco, Udyr, and Volibear. So Volibear I'm not too surprised about because he's kind of been ditched and left at the moment. Some of these other champions are not that popular, like Nocturne's not very popular right now. Kayle isn't either. Fiddlesticks is kind of having a few issues. Mundo is pretty much the same as well. So they're probably going to pick the ones that are least common to start with. But having Shaco like as a rework is pretty weird because I think he has a very unique playstyle anyway, and most people who are good at Shaco are probably not going to appreciate that too much, but there you go. These are the ones that they're going to do. And also, if we look down in the comments a little bit more, someone talks about Quinn. and she is pretty close to tier 1 as well and end up on that list pretty soon. But in theory, if she's not on that list yet, and they have these other 16 champions there ready to go, then they're probably going to pick the other ones before Quinn. So there you go. That is going to wrap up the video, guys. Just a quick coming soon, I guess, for Season 8, so you know what to expect. They are going to be reworking Irelia, Aatrox, and Akali pretty soon, within the next 6 months, most likely. They kind of do these in between champions. So you have a new champion, then normally a rework, and then it doesn't always follow the pattern, but that's pretty much what we've seen from last season, and Nunu as well. And we have a new AD carry coming pretty soon. The AD carry stuff, apparently, like, we don't necessarily know, but they don't normally announce this stuff until they're pretty ready to go with it afterwards. Like, they announced, they teased the Zoe pick, and then about a month or two after she came out into the game. So in theory, in the next few months, at the very latest, probably just in a month's time or less, we're going to actually see, and they're going to reveal this new AD carry. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think down below, and yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.